Hello everyone and welcome to the recap for NSG's Apex Legends LAN at the block. In Game 1, many teams started setting up around Countdown, Watson fencing themselves in as AGG tried to take the RV outside Countdown. Renegades tried to push All Glory in the RV, but they don't get the kills and they have to back out. And that just leaves a free-for-all all across all the teams in that field afterwards. Oxygen at the end of it get cleaned up by RNG, and a two-person squad of All Glory is left. And with a nasty nade, All Glory end up cleaning up all the shields on RNG and clean up for the turnaround. Check in Game 2 in the middle of it. All Glory barely make a Valkyrie out onto launch site as ECF start a slow sweep into a third party to nab a bunch of loot for themselves that they need. Tons of teams all over launch site are all fighting for minimal space, and eventually Contested respawn two of their dead teammates and Valkyrie into an unfortunate instant death. All Glory once again in the late game as Mayo is finally in there for the third, but DXT, they sweep around, throw massive amounts of nades all across the fight, and eventually AGG get pushed out as well, and Dexterity sweep the fight and take Game 2. Game 3, Dexterity end up pushing off two teams and play hot potato between the doors to see who ends up taking them out. Eventually Dexterity move onwards and everyone's fighting for a sliver of protection in the dome as teams drop like flies. Once the ring pulls everyone back out, Haruni Bandits and Contested are actually waiting for them at the dome. Contested try to Valk ult but lose the Valk as she lands on top and they get the revive off. RNG have Scurry just sticking it out and keep pushing and prodding into teams, and eventually Contested get their Valk up, reset, drop down, and win the fight against Haruni Bandits for Game 3. In our first game on Stormpoint, everyone seemed to forget to get inside the ring. Dexterity continued their dominance as they finished off All Glory near the end of the game. Lazarus in the meantime took down a solo player that was left over, and DXT still had the majority of the ring and wouldn't even let Lazarus leave their tiny little rock in Game 4. Game 5 was slow and steady with constant fights around Barometer until we got Dexterity, All Glory, Contested, Renegades, all of them fighting over the east side of the zone until All Glory finally took the win there. Lazarus ended up holding a hill for about 15 minutes, pushing everybody off. Once RCO pushed up, tried to get the end. They fought off RCO, ran over to Dexterity, who had just finished All Glory off, and barely pull out the win at the end of it when Dexterity looked the wrong way. Game 6 was all about getting the points you needed. Contested died early on to RCO, and RCO only needed 12 points to match them in land points. All Glory and Lazarus stuck out in buildings as long as they could together as Renegades ran around trying to get as many kill points as they could. All Glory got a special delivery to make sure they got into top 3, but it was Lazarus and Dexterity again at the end. Dexterity and Lazarus both tossed their domes at the same time to block bombardments, but it was the Horizon ult to clutch it out for the win at the end for Dexterity's third win of the day. The LAN was full of energy all throughout, and with Dexterity dominating, we'll have to keep our eyes on them for the rest of the season to see if they can keep that pressure on.